Today guys, I'm going on an epic quest, an epic adventure to find old train tracks that are no more. No more train tracks because they're actually tram tracks. The trams have actually started using what used to be train travel, right? Am I making any sense? It's the St Kilda line. It closed on my birthday, 1987. So this isn't just the St Kilda line. This is also the Port Melbourne line as well, right? They both left from the same station, Flinders Street Station, but eventually split into different directions. But for this video, we're going to be focusing on the St Kilda line. And this line is still very much visible today. It's almost the same as it was before the trains were taken off. Except for the city part of the line, because that's now completely gone. So standing at the Yarra River, the train left Flinders Street and slowly verged left over the Sandridge Bridge, and we'll be walking over that in a second. It travelled up in the air over Queensbridge Street and slightly verged right over Whiteman Street. And this massive building on the right is now the casino. This is Crown Casino Melbourne. And we'll show you a before and after video in a second of this. It's truly amazing. So it travelled down Whiteman Street and continued to the now Port Junction Whiteman Street tram stop. And we'll be there in a second. And if you look carefully, you can see from this point onwards is where the train tracks still exist as they were back in the day. So let's head back to the Yarra River, as well as the back part of Flinders Street Station, and make our way to the first part of our adventure.
Alright guys, so I'm currently standing on the Christmas Bridge, otherwise known as the Evan Walker Bridge. And if you look to your left, you'll see, well, there was a train there, the train's gone now, but there is a bridge in front of us. And this bridge used to be a train bridge that took the trains to St Kilda. And then they closed it, and they ended up converting the trams on the old rail line, and we will be going on that rail line eventually. But here's the train station right there. I'm a star, baby! That was definitely a bit too gay. That's a little bit too gay.
So this is the famous Flinders Street Station in front of us, and this is where the trains would have left from to go over the bridge to St Kilda, and we'll show you that very soon.
There's a train leaving Flinders Street Station on its way to Southern Cross Station right now, but this is the bridge that I was talking about. This used to be, of all things, a train crossing with train tracks, and there is actually a YouTube video. If I will find it, I'll link it in the description below, but there's actually a YouTube video.
So in this YouTube video that I will show you in a second, you will actually see this red brick building on the right hand side. It's still here today, yet it's definitely been changed a little bit for the second level. It's now made out of glass. Just remember that red brick building. We'll come back to that in a second.
An old train going over this bridge back in the day when there was tracks here. And there was gravel and rocks, and it was just a train bridge. There was no pedestrian access whatsoever. But how cool is this? They've not only kept the bridge, but they've opened it up for pedestrians. You know, that's great infrastructure right there. That's a pretty cool shot. Yep, definitely. But there you go. This is the bridge that we're on. And I mean, look at this. This has some serious history. These rivets would have been done. Do you think by hand? Well, I mean, obviously by hand, but would they have had a pneumatic press or some sort of drill? I'm not sure. I'm really not too sure, because this bridge is obviously very old. If I get the date of this bridge, I will throw it up on the screen, but I'm pretty interested in some of the old rail history wherever I go. Beautiful.
So I will definitely link this in the description below if you're interested in watching it. But this definitely appears to be the final days of the St Kilda rail line, Port Melbourne rail line. So we're leaving Flinders Street Station, and if we were to go straight, we would make our way to Southern Cross Station. But as you can see, we're turning left via the red brick building that we were talking about. Now there are 4 tracks turning left. 2 tracks on the left bridge and 2 tracks on the right bridge. That's right, there are 2 different bridges that go over the Yarra River. And the bridge that we're on right now, the left-hand side bridge, is the only side that's available for pedestrians to walk on in today's day and age, We'll show you the other side in a second. But as we start to make our way over traffic now, pretty much all the area on the right-hand side of the screen is now the Crown Casino. What a mind explosion that is. It's crazy to see that so much has changed over the years. We will show you a bit more in a second.
I only just realized something. So this must have been a two-track bridge, because on the other side of this glass, through the writing, you can actually see another bridge. Obviously, no one can walk there. And if you look at this angle, wow. Take a look at that. How awesome is that? I know it would be super dangerous, but I would absolutely love to do hopscotch on that bridge. It would make a great video, would it not? And there's some sort of cryptic message here. Drink to get drunk. I guess so. And here we go. How awesome is that? You can actually see people down there. Wow. When cities reuse old infrastructure like this, you know, that's what makes a city into a city. Some could say it's the people living in the city. Others would say it's the buildings and the history. Perhaps it's a mix of both. There's a nice sneaky little area. Let's look at the trains. Wow, this is awesome. What a fabulous shot. And another one's coming too. If I ask him to honk, do you think he'll do it? Thank you. Wow. That was awesome. Moments like that happen. I can't help but think, that was so cool. Once again, a little bit gay, just a little bit gay, Gareth. Stop it, stop it. No. I feel like I should be bringing Edward Norton here. I don't know why, Edward Norton should be here right now. I don't know. And by the way, I have absolutely no idea who Brad Pitt is. Who is that guy? Who is he? A figment of my imagination. Today, guys, I'm going on an epic quest, an epic adventure to find...
Wait. Okay, hang on just a second. The people have already seen this bit, Gareth. What we need to do is we need to catch the tram 2 stops to where the tracks pretty much remain the same to what they were back in the day. Let's do that.
It closed on my birthday, 1987. Let's jump on. Alright, so I've just gotten off at this Clarendon Street junction. Just to show you what's going on, right? This is pretty much Port Melbourne goes somewhat right. St Kilda Beach definitely goes left, and we're going to be going left in a second because this is where the bare open railway tracks are, right? This is really the only remaining reminder of this used to be a train line.
That one. That's where we need to be going.
Here's an even clearer view. So Port Melbourne on the right, St Kilda Beach on the left. Both of these tracks used to be railway tracks.
So, by stepping back in time and reversing quite literally to what it used to look like, as well as physically, because we're now going backwards, you can see the amazing difference that it used to be. Now, we're on Whiteman Street, and currently there are no tram tracks, or of course no train tracks on Whiteman Street anymore, purely for pedestrians and for cars only. But we will reverse a little bit more and see what we can see. Get ready for this, it's really, really interesting. Take a look at this bridge above us right now. I want you to remember how this bridge looks and the surrounding areas, because we're about to show you something really, really cool. By going back in time using Doc Brown's DeLorean, we can see that the bridge is still there, and of course, Whiteman Street has no rail traffic whatsoever. Now, by actually jumping on the bridge, just to give you a reference of what this bridge actually looks like in today's day and age, I mean, this is it, right? And the bridge goes through, it literally goes through Crown Casino, and this is what Whiteman Street looks like from this angle. And of course, we'll do the other angle as well, just so you can see that there are definitely no more trucks, trains, or trams going down Whiteman Street anymore. It is completely transformed. Whiteman Street was completely elevated with tracks. Now, by going through the tunnel and ending up on the other side, we're actually on this bridge on the Yarra River, and this is the actual bridge that I stood on for New Year's Eve in my New Year's Eve video. So go check that out if you are interested. I will link that in the description below. But wow, what a transformation this is between 1987, when this film was shot, and today. As you can see, the tracks are elevated up in the air. It's on an embankment, right, going over roads. I'm pretty sure there was not really much of a Whiteman Street there for anyone. Now, the trains literally came over Crown Casino, over the sign, to just to the right of the sign, a little bit where the building is, and branched off down this street and came down here. And I think this is the Queen's Bridge Street. Yes, it is. And then it slightly verged off down there, back where we came from. And get ready for this. What an amazing view. There's the bridge right there, the Sandbridge Bridge. Of course, one side is available for public traffic, and the other side is, well, nothing. So there you go.
Both of these tracks used to be railway tracks. Both are now served as trams.
But for this video, we're going to be specifically focusing on the St Kilda Bridge.
And as you can see, it's coming in about 2 minutes. 2 minutes.
So when they converted this train line to trams, there were many different changes they had to do, and we'll get to that in a second. But one of them was actually adding more stations, this time for the trams.
Very interesting.
Now, as far as I'm aware, not every tram stop on this St Kilda Beach line used to be an actual train station. There only used to be a certain amount of train stations, right? I'm pretty sure they've actually added here and there a few more tram stops.
And it doesn't get much more clearer than that, except the reflections are in the way, so it's not very clear at all. But you get what I'm trying to say. This is the way we're going. We're going to St Kilda Beach, baby. Luna Park with a tram in its mouth.
Now, for legal reasons, I must actually say that Luna Park mouth does not actually swallow a tram. You're welcome. My first station on the St Kilda line. And there's a tram coming. There we go. I couldn't time that more perfectly. But we're going to head back on my platform. Let's go to the next station. By the way, Melbourne currently has this little thing going. Beware, don't cut in front of trams. Is this new slogan or new thing that they're trying to press out to people, because I mean, there must be a lot of people getting hit, right? Boop. Boop, 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 boop. Let's go. I want you to look at this little old bridge that we're riding on right now, because you're about to see a before and after. Boom. That's pretty much where we are right now, going to our first train station on this line. Now, like I said, there were many different conversions that they had to do, and one of them was actually changing the gauge of the track, because trains in Melbourne run on broad gauge, but the trams run on standard. So that was something that they had to actually do, was change the tracks.
You know what? I severely get the feeling that this used to be a train station. Definitely. You can see the history everywhere on this particular platform. This one being South Melbourne, of course. Look at the bridges. There's like 3 in a row. And you get these magnificent, well, maybe magnificent is too strong of a word, but it's, I'm gonna stay with magnificent old stations. And you've got this old footbridge, which I will go up in a second. I've been to Melbourne about 5 times in my life, and I've ridden on this line each time, probably twice each time. I've been on this line so many times, and I've gone past these stations so many times, never actually gotten out to have a look at them, right? This year, this time, everything changes. Look at the history on this bridge, huh? They don't make bridges like this anymore. No, they do not. It actually looks like they've added these 2 things to, you know, raise up the height level a little bit so people don't fall over as easily. This would have not been here back in the day. I can't imagine it being anyway, at least. But look at that. Damn. Is that a childcare centre on the left? Damn. So it's hard to fully see. This used to be the old train station. It's now been turned into a childcare or kindergarten centre for children. But there you go, look at that. And the amazing thing about this platform is instead of, you know, getting rid of, deleting, removing, demolishing the old platforms to put in the new tram lower floor platforms, I mean, they've kept them there. How awesome is that? And of course, they've just put the platforms a little bit further that way for the trams. That's awesome. Something weird I just noticed, unlike the other platform, which I don't think used to be a train platform, this platform does not have TV screens telling you when the next tram is coming, so it's a fly on my arm. So the old original platforms don't get the modern upgrade with the TV, apparently, for this one at least. Time to go to the next one, I think. So the government of the day was like, let's get rid of this rail line and replace it with something else. And the something else was apparently supposed to be buses. And you know what? The people of the day were like, we don't like rubber tires. We like metal wheels because metal rocks, right? And trams is what they got, thankfully, right? But one thing that they needed to do in order to get the trams to work properly was by reducing the voltage of the electricity wires from 1500 volt DC to 600. But do you see the platforms, how they're lower here and they're higher over there? This is 1987 when they were actually doing the transfer between trains and trams. Here's the next one. Let's check it out. Oh my God, yes! It has the same situation. Oh man, that's awesome. He didn't ding, he forgot to ding. Wow. It's another long platform. Amazing. Here comes another one. Transport redevelopment. Once it's done right, it looks amazing and it serves an amazing function, right? You have to do it right though. Keep the freaking history alive. Once it's gone, it's fucking gone. It's actually a railway crossing here. So we're definitely having a look at that. Albert Park is where we are, just in case I didn't make that clear enough. But here is the other side of this old train station platform. Now there isn't any signs to say that you can't walk up here, but I'm just going to assume that you're not allowed to, and anyway it's pretty dangerous, so yeah, I'm not going to be doing that. Irresponsible. Now there is actually an underground passage here, so let's have a quick look. Huh. Nice. And on the scale of Tallboygareth height, it's actually pretty good. Just a little bit, just a tiny touchy little bit. Now obviously this used to be a railway crossing. It's clearly now a tram crossing. And here's one just arrived. So we're going to wait for the lights to go. And they're going, look at that. Can you hear that? It's a very, very, very quiet. Gosh, it's too quiet. People in cars couldn't hear that. But my God, that was a great shot, was it not? Wow! Here's just a quick side view of this train station. Look at the history on that building. I love how nature has reclaimed some of this, but it's still functional. And would you believe it, but this is also another children's kindercare situation. Wow. What are the odds of that? I'm not going to go onto their property, but yeah, basically that's it. We're only going to check out one side of the station. I know I said I wasn't going to check out the other side, but then I thought, damn Gareth, you've got to do it. Totally glad I did. Love the building design. It's awesome. Time for the next one. Let's go. So, as I record the voiceover for these videos, would you believe it that I'm actually slowly running out of factual information to give you guys? So I'm just going to twiddle my thumbs and just be quiet for a second, okay? Okay, I'm back with an interesting fact. Hopefully it's interesting. The station on the left and the station on the right is not an original station. It's purely getting built for the trams. This one, Melbourne Sports and Aquatic Centre. That's interesting. The stations don't line up. They're like end to end. See that? And I also don't think this used to be an original station. If I'm wrong, I shall hopefully edit it in the editing suite, but this looks like a new tram stop. By the way, look at this tree branch, completely defying gravity, it would seem. It's hanging up in the air, there's nothing touching it. That's cool. But you know what, on further inspection, this definitely seems like an ancient tunnel for pedestrians. And on the Tallboygareth scale of height, it completely passes. Good job, guys, good job. God, that's so strange. The last station we were at was Albert Park, and this one says, welcome to Albert Park. What is going on? Something fishy going on here. You can smell the seafood. I'm telling you now, I have never walked across so many railway tracks in my life. And we're getting the next tram to the next station. Let's go. So as we travel past the construction of Melbourne Sports and Aquatic Centre, you can see that it doesn't take us very long to reach the next station, which is most definitely an original. Oh yeah, you can see the difference pretty clearly. When we finally get there, there we go. All right, we made it. Let's get out and have a look. Any moment now. Okay. Oh, this one's Middle Park. It's not Left Park and it ain't Right Park. It's Malcolm in Middle Park. Gosh, I can't help myself.
But if I could help myself, would I really want to?
And you know what? I'm starting to think that this is an original platform. Take a look on the right. Perhaps this would have been a one-track platform. Interesting, because there isn't a special thing on the left, right? There isn't another platform on the left, right? So this potentially would have been a one-platform station. Ding, ding, back to you. It's not even stopping. Maybe no one called the tram and no one's at the platform, so there you go. Yeah, it's a pretty simple design back here. It's nothing really special. But there you go. Now this is interesting. We've got a one lane street for cars and also a pedestrian area. Wow. Which way should we go? Let's go down the one-way street because I like to live my life on the wild side. Yeehaw, baby. Let's have a look. I have a feeling my height won't be a problem for this bridge. Either side should be pretty good, I think. Okay. Definitely an old underpass once again. What the hell? This is the third station in a row. I've just noticed this sign. I don't know what's going on here. Welcome to Albert Park. What is going on? Because I have no idea. If anyone wants to know. And I'm also starting to think that there might have been another building here at one point because you can see the brickwork here. And there's just nothing here now. Perhaps. I'm not 100% sure. And by the way, whenever I see this sign that says Hail Tram with a guy putting his hand up in the air, am I the only one thinking what I'm thinking right now, or is someone else thinking what I'm currently thinking right now? Surely I'm not the only one thinking what I'm thinking. That's a bit strange. Do you like my mustache? No? I'm gonna stop now. I'm gonna stop now. This stop, Fraser Street. Not really much going on. There you go.
Going back in the past once again, leaving Middle Park on our way to Fraser Street. We can see the difference in the weather. The weather is very, a little overcast today in this particular day and age. A little mono-coloured as well. Technicolor perhaps wasn't as good as it is in today's day and age. Going in all seriousness though, we can actually see the tram station getting built right there. Yeah, not much going on here. Okay, so I think I may have figured out what's going on with this Albert Park situation. So it looks like Albert Park is a really, really long park. There's Albert Park Lake, which is really long. There's Albert Park there. So I think the train or the trams are going past multiple areas through Albert Park. So there you go. Even though there is one place called Albert Park, so yes, it is confusing, but I think we've solved the problem. Robert Stack from Unsolved Mysteries does not need to make an appearance for this episode. Anyway, there's heaps of desire paths. A desire path is a path that is made by people wanting to get from A to B really quickly. That's their desired way to get home really quick, right? Hence why it's called a desire path. There's heaps of them in the bushland right here. But they encourage it completely because there's an entrance there, see? So, yeah, it's like a bushwalking track as soon as you get off your station. So let's take this sign as an example, right? The Hail Tram. The little man doing that has been removed, yet on the other side, he's there. So perhaps newer signs have the man doing that been taken away. That's my thought on the situation. So as I'm from Sydney, Australia, and I'm currently in Melbourne, Australia, there are many differences between the two cities with the infrastructure. I mean, trams being probably the number one, most hugest, biggest, frickinest difference. It's a huge difference, right? But there are many other little secrets that really aren't secret as long as you've got your eyes open enough. In Sydney, you would never see an old pole like that. Not really around too much. Really, there are some, but not really at all, right? In Sydney, we have heaps of these ones here. These are the newer poles that hold the catenaries, that hold the wire up, right? But in Melbourne, these things are absolutely everywhere, which I really love, right? I love that they're keeping their history. It looks dated in the best possible way, right? But I guess the pole that used to be there was a bit dangerous and rusty perhaps, and that's why they've replaced it. And you can even see the old poles in the distance, and there's one brand new one on the right. Sydney pretty much has all new poles, mostly, whereas Melbourne have kept their old ones, because let's face it, they work just as fine, right? Anyway, on to the next stop. And with that, our video is slowly coming to a close, because next station is St Kilda. So as we leave in Doc Brown's DeLorean one last time, there actually used to be a branch line around about here at some point. It was the St Kilda Windsor line, which was only around for a short period of time, 1859 to 1862. I actually wasn't aware of that until I started editing this video. But you can see how our two train lines converge into one line here, and then goes weirdly back into 2 or 3 different lines. Today it is not like that. It is 2 lines, double track, all the way to St Kilda. And get ready for the transformation of the before and after. It's pretty cool. Having seen what I've seen so far, do I think that they made the right choice by removing the trains and putting the trams here? Now, you know me, I love trains and I love trams, and whenever they take things away, it's usually for the worst. But for this situation, see how it's turning onto the street? The train would never be able to do that. It was never allowed to do that. This was the terminus for the trains when they were here, hence why I think that they've done an absolutely fantastic job cutting off the train line here and keeping it as rail, right? Keeping it as a rail corridor for the trams that were to come, because they can now go on the street further on. It's a through station as opposed to a terminus station. So much better. You can see the transition between gravel and concrete. So they've modernized this particular area to then continue on with the street, right? So I'm currently on the other side of the street right now, and you should be able to see him turning into the once terminus Flinders Street Station. The tram almost hit someone. The guy's like, sorry, did you see that? Hopefully I got it on video. There you go. Good job, Melbourne, good job. You know, the fact that this line doesn't just go down to the beach, I mean, it branches off into a couple of different directions, right? But there's also another line that goes up to the city that way, and they all combined with each other in this little area right here. Incredible.
This tram will not be going through the old corridor. It's continuing on another line up to Melbourne.
Alright guys, thank you for watching. If you like this video, don't forget to give us a like and a subscribe if you're not already. We've got a bunch more content on the Melbourne Tram Network, Melbourne Train Network, even Sydney's trains, and even some other stuff around the world. I've been Tall, my name's Gareth, and I'll see you later.